Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So happy New Year to everyone who is just tuning in for the first time this year. I hope you guys have a great year. This is, I think, the first video of 2024 Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. And we're going to be talking about the Bravo Concealment Linked setup. So I wanted to wait a bit to talk about this. Bravo sort of released a video about this last week, Sunday, where they explain how to get this set up effectively. One of the things I do want to say, and the reason I'm doing this video, is because Bravo Concealment are now in South Africa. SA Tactical Instatute, they are bringing in Bravo Concealment gear. So if you want to buy this, this is now available in South Africa. I think it's $800. Don't quote me on any prices. I think they're running a special where you get the mag carrier as well. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, ask them. Whatever they say is accurate. That's just what I think. I know the guys in the US are still running a special. I don't know if they're running it in South Africa, but $800 is what you would pay for at least the holster, which kind of in itself is already a really good deal. Before we go further, mags and firearm is empty and safe and will remain so throughout the video. $800 for the Torsion 3.0 holster is a very, very good deal. If you're just starting out in carrying a firearm, this is a holster that I often push people to now that Bravo Concealment are here, simply because it can be carried quite comfortably and quite successfully in the appendix and on the strong side. Often people starting out will carry in the strong side position and then move over to appendix when they become a bit more comfortable. I'm not advocating it. I'm not saying it's good, bad. You do what you got to do. But if you are someone who is sort of planning to start off on the strong side and move to appendix, this is a really great deal because you're getting an appendix and strong side holster for the price of one holster. And actually for the price of like half of a holster, because most holsters today cost more than $800. So $800 for a really, really good holster. And the thing with the Torsion 3.0 and all their 3.0 holsters are they are machine made. Okay, so each and every holster is made to like perfection. There's no defect or very little defect in these holsters. Very, very smooth inside. Currently, I think they are for Glock. I don't know if we're doing CZ and SIG here in South Africa yet. I'm not sure. Speak to SA Tactical Instatute. They will be able to clue you up on that. But, you know, for a new carrier or even for someone who's looking for another holster they want to try out, really good deal off the bat. But what we actually want to talk about is the linked setup. So when you buy your holster and mag carrier, right, you get everything you see here. You don't have to buy any extras. This deal is what you get, and it comes to you packaged. Well, it doesn't come to package like this, but everything you see here you can do straight out of the box. When you do buy it, the mag carrier will come in this configuration. This is the old 2.0 holster. It will come with outside the waistband loops. You can take those off, and obviously your Torsion holster, which I'm showing now covering up the mag carrier, will have this clip over here. So you can just then move that clip over there and use the screws. You'll figure it out, and if you don't, check out Bravo Concealment's video on how to set this up, but you have all the hardware you need. And I'm tempted to say that it actually makes the Torsion holster a little bit more concealable, right? Where without the mag carrier, the Torsion holster sort of sits like that, and you get really good concealment. It's not for everyone though. I notice a lot of bigger guys seem to sometimes struggle with the Torsion holster because it doesn't have a claw. The Torsion holster has a built-in 10-degree cant angle of the firearm. So the firearm goes in and is automatically canted towards your body. Okay, the holster sort of made with like a twist in it. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, so there's no concealment device like a claw. With the addition of the mag carrier, it puts a curve in the holster, and you can see it puts a greater curve in where the clips are as well. So it sort of rotates around your body, A, more comfortably, and B, more concealably. It is a very shallow curve. Okay, so if I compare this to a holster that has a really aggressive curve, and if you ask me, this is the right curve for my body shape, but it might not necessarily be the right curve for someone else's body shape. If you look at the last line of defense associate holster, this is a very aggressively curved holster. So if you look at it that way, look at how downwardly pointed the mag carrier is on this holster, okay? So that versus, and I'm going to arc back to this a few times because this is sort of your ideal, in my opinion, your ideal rigid appendix holster with mag carrier. So we were talking about the curve. If you look at the curve of the last line of defense versus the curve of the Bravo Concealment, if I hold them both sort of parallel to the ground, you can see that the downward angle of the mag carrier is a lot more shallow on the Bravo Concealment holster. Now that is going to offer good comfort for bigger guys. What I've discovered with appendix holsters is the bigger you are, the less comfortable that sharp curves are of the last line of defense holsters and similar holsters. The smaller you are in front or the flatter your belly, the more concealable and the more comfortable the sharper curves are going to be. I don't fully understand it because I only have this body to work with, but that's what I've been told. So there is that sort of plus minus column for the Bravo Concealment holster. Another thing, guys, straight off the bat, you have to know that this is not a dedicated appendix holster with mag carrier, okay? This mag carrier is dedicated for sort of to be an outside the waistband, spare mag, carry maybe weak side, that sort of deal. This setup, even though now I would say adopted by Bravo Concealment, is sort of a modification of two different parts. It's like a Frankenstein's monster kind of thing. So one of the drawbacks here is this mag carrier does have a lot of extra material. You'll notice with appendix holsters, they try to minimize the material because you've got a lot of sensitive things around your appendix area, and the less material you have, the more comfortable it's going to be. So a lot of people complain that when they have tried this and they sit down, this area here digs into their sort of inner thigh. What you can do to combat that, let me just get rid of the firearm so I can handle this a bit easier. What you can do to combat that is this clip. Sort of ride it on the second two holes on the mag carrier, so it will ride higher inside your pants instead of lower inside your pants. That example, you see, so the screws go through the outside two holes of the clip and they go into the second and third hole on the mag carrier. What that then means is your belt holds this area here higher up, so you've got a lot more play over there in terms of space inside your pants. I also found it dug in a bit, and this is quite a sharpish corner over here, but when I sort of ride it like this, it is a lot more comfortable. And as you can see from the clip height, you've got a fairly flat setup with the firearm, fairly flat situation. So you're not going to need or have that really aggressive cant inside your belt line. I don't like a canted appendix holster because when you reach for it, you want to reach for it sort of normally. You don't want to have to, if your holster's canted like that, you don't want to have to come at that angle. That's just me personally. A lot of people ride their holsters like this and they're super fast, super accurate. You do what you're going to do. But I like a more or less flat setup when it comes to appendix. Another point where I think Bravo could improve, and when I say improve, this is sort of an improvement on something that shouldn't actually exist. So take that for what it is, right? You're kind of getting almost 3 holsters for the price of 1 when you do buy this. Is the mag carrier should be a bit higher up. Let me give you an example. There's a 17 mag, right? If I drop a 19 mag in there, what you'll find is you'll sometimes struggle during reloads to get a nice grip on the mag because it sits so deep inside the mag carrier. For example, if we look at where the 17 mag sits versus my firearm, right? So let's say it's midway through my red dot and we switch to a more dedicated appendix rig like the last line of defense. Let's just switch everything out so everything fits perfectly. Okay, so you see you've got quite a lot of mag to grab onto, and that's what I'm talking about. I'll throw in some B-roll of me doing some drawers and presentations and mag switches and that sort of thing. The drawing of the holster from the drawing of the firearm, from the holster is very similar. It's pretty much exactly as you would draw with your normal torsion holster. That's not a problem. It's just on that spare mag side of things, if they could mold this to where it's shallower, right? So the mag would sit higher, okay? They would be in business. and they could cut away a lot of this. For example, do what you did on the holster on the mag carrier with the clip piece. That whole section over there almost doesn't need to be there. I do just want to say, I did speak to the guys at Bravo about this like 2 years ago, back when the old 2.0s were out. I sent them a picture of a linked setup. So I do want to claim royalties for that. I'm just kidding. They can do what they want to do. They're a massive company. I'm just happy to be involved with them. So there's definitely the base and the making of an awesome appendix inside the waistband with mag carrier rig here. You've got the foundation, and if you can just make a little changes, for example, cut that off, sort of make that like that, and then make the mag carrier sit a bit higher to where if you've got a 19 mag, it sits about there, right? Sort of line it up with the top of your sweat guard. You are absolutely in business for a super comfortable, super functional appendix inside the waistband rig with mag carrier. Now, if this doesn't suit you and if it's not concealable enough, you can go for what I like to call the Hollywood setup. If you have one of these wings, so a lot of holsters come with these wings. They are very, very, very common. I'm sure if you've owned 1 or 2 appendix holsters, you will already own one of these. You can pop this onto your holster, and then you've got a holster that conceals it really well. So when I add this claw, I don't add it to the bottom of the clip. I add it to the top of the clip, so it sits right there. And that way you're going to get, how can I best show this? You're going to get the most effect out of that claw, right? And it's almost like they made this piece here, this indentation here, just right to fit one of these claws or wings type deals. And when you run it like that, then you are talking like a hyper concealment holster. Let's just show you what the whole setup would look like. So that's what your entire setup would look like. It does look kind of sexy, right? It's nice, it's hot. It's that perfect molding from Bravo Concealment with an aggressive claw. You've got a really, really good setup. These things go for like 150, 200 bucks here in South Africa. So if you do have this, get yourself one of these and even run it on your Bravo Concealment holster if you're just running the torsion. It will aid with concealment if you are struggling to get that really, really, really good concealment, which I don't think many people do with Bravo Concealment because they got that concealment factor really well down. I'll put in B-roll if I haven't already of different setups and how they look on my body, but I tend to have the body shape of someone who can conceal a holster really well. So you're just going to have to sort of work with what you see from the images. But I can tell you, once you chuck a claw on this thing, it becomes a highly concealable unit. So guys, once again, SA Tactical Institute are bringing in Bravo Concealment holsters. I'm sure they'll get belts and all the other accessories. Bravo Concealment, as you know, they need no introduction. They make ultra high quality gear. You're not going to go wrong. Their customer service is absolutely spectacular. They like replace anything that's faulty. Very little questions asked. Just don't be an idiot with it and they'll more than likely hook you up. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Their owner, I forget the guy's name now, and Brianna from Bravo Concealment is going to kill me for forgetting his name. He's super active on social media. So it's really cool to see like a company engaging with their fan base, which is really cool. So follow him and you'll kind of hear before me even what they're going to be doing going forward. By the way, if you want to, you can follow me also on Instagram and Facebook. I post on there more than I post on YouTube. I post on YouTube like once, twice a week. I post on Facebook and Instagram like almost every day. And I'm very, very active with chatting to people on this. If you want to chat to me about gear and things like that, definitely do that. So guys, I think I pretty much covered it. The Bravo Concealment Linked setup, really, really cool setup, very functional, does work, and you absolutely can run it. It's as comfortable as a normal appendix rig, but there is potential here to get to the next level, and I'm sure if Bravo do go that route, they will get there. That's it guys. I will see you soon for another review. Have a good week. Cheers. God bless.